So there's this TV show called Halt and Catch Fire, and basically it's about this company called Cardiff Electric in the 1980s that builds an IBM PC clone. Excited yet? Warning, this contains spoilers. If you haven't watched the series yet, I recommend that you do. The whole thing, except for seasons 2 through 4. Great! So really, the story is more about these two dudes, Beard Man and Doucheface, and the one dudette, Sex Appeal Ida. In the first episode, there's sex. And by sex, I mean there's a cool computer girl, Sex Appeal Ida, Cameron for short, and she's really smart. And then Doucheface, Joe for short, meets up with her after college in an arcade, and well, they have sex. But anyway, after the sex scene, we're introduced to Gordon the Beard Man. Gordon's a failure at life that's ruining his marriage by over-drinking after his boring 9-to-5 job at Cardiff Electric. His wife, Smart Lady, loves him though and wants him to get better. Too bad she cheats on him. Then we go back to Joe. Joe used to work for IBM and one day trashed the place and disappeared. So he applies at Cardiff Electric to make his mark on the world by completely destroying the company and making everyone mad at him. Because Joe wants to make a computer that rivals with IBM. Joe's a dick to Gordon at first, but eventually they become best buds and almost get arrested together because they steal IBM's BIOS, the thing that the show claims is the secret to IBM's PC running its programs correctly. It turns out this is all just part of Joe's master plan because now Cardiff is forced to design their own PC with their own BIOS. This is where Cameron comes in. Joe and Gordon beg her to write the BIOS since they're not allowed to, and she agrees after they offer her a heck ton of money to drop out of college. So now everybody's happy and on their way to building an amazing computer. Except they're not happy because no one has any idea what they're doing, IBM is stealing Cardiff's customers, and basically everyone gets fired because the company has no money. Even the boss man mortgages his house just to support the computer project. Joe's happy though. Probably. Gordon gets a raise and suddenly stops being an abusive drunk because he finally has a purpose in life after being a complete failure a few years prior. He leads the design for the new PC that they have to build, which ends up being a portable computer that's half impossible to build. It turns out Gordon and his wife were both miserable failures because the computer that they made together flopped, and that's why they're working jobs at Cardiff and Texas Instruments. But since it turns out his wife is super smart, she actually ends up helping Cardiff and is basically the reason that the whole project didn't fail. Cindy Samantha Sex Appeal Cameron almost trashes Gordon's house until she gets there to find that one of the people that Gordon had to fire actually was there to kill him. Gordon actually would have been home and gotten killed that evening if it hadn't been for the fact that Joe is a huge douche and crashed Cameron's computer just for publicity. I guess it was a greater good. Not really. After that, Cameron gets a vacation because she finishes the BIOS but then comes back only to find that she has a new boss who's a huge dingle and prevents her from doing the work that she wants to do. Then she gets the boss fired so she can work on an idea that she had that, in retrospect, was honestly terrible and only got to do because she has sex with Joe. Then a hurricane happens for some reason at Christmas, in Texas, because the writers don't know how hurricanes work. And then Gordon robs a store for a Cabbage Patch Kids doll. After robbing the store, Gordon sees a dead body and is then scarred for life. He tells his daughters a story about a giant that lives underground and then goes out in the middle of the storm and then digs a hole in the backyard. This is how the computer gets the name, spoiler alert, the Giant. Gordon's wife comes back from a business trip after cheating on her husband, only to find him in the backyard digging what appears to be his own grave. Then the company gets shut down because the boss man that ran the company got Cameron to steal like $1 bajillion from a bank to fund the computer. Boss man gets arrested and everyone is sad. Except for Joe, probably. But Gordon breaks into Cardiff and steals the Giant prototype. All four of them then go to Comdex, a big computer expo in California, to show off the Giant. It breaks, but they fix it. But then it turns out that Texas Instruments man, the douchebag Gordon's wife cheated on him with, stole the plans for the Giant and formed his own startup with the guy who wanted to shoot Gordon and made their same computer, but cheaper. In order to reduce the price, Gordon strips out the components that were necessary for Cameron's bad idea to work, which makes her mad and she leaves the company. But it works, and it gets people interested in the machine. Joe leaves the company shortly afterwards because he sees a demo for the Macintosh, a revolutionary computer that blows theirs and IBM's PCs out of the water. But before he leaves, he makes sure to set a truck full of Cardiff's Giants on fire because Joe is insane. And then Gordon shaves his beard and basically ruins the whole show. Don't watch anything past season 1 because he doesn't grow his beard back, and we're all sad. The end.